Hello everyone, I am Saloni Shakya. Today I am going to start the topic digestion in humans. I hope you all are excited for this topic. Okay, so let's start this topic, digestion. Okay, so as we know that food is a basic requirement, right? We cannot survive without food. Can we survive? No, if we do not have food for a long time, then we will die. We cannot survive without food, right? So, food gives us energy, but how it does give us energy, let's understand this today, okay? So, in the food, there are some major components present. These are known as, carbohydrate, protein, and fat. And some other components are present which are present in small amount, that are vitamins, and minerals. Okay students? So, carbohydrate, proteins, fats, vitamins and minerals, and there are some roughage are also present in our food components, and you can write here the roughage. Okay? So, these are the major components which are present in our food, right? And these carbohydrate, proteins, fats are the biomacromolecules. These are the biomacromolecules. What are biomacromolecules? Biomacromolecules are those molecules which are larger in size and cannot absorb in our body directly, right? We have to process them, or we can say that we have to convert them into the small particles, then only they can absorb in our body and provide us energy, right? So the biomacromolecules have to be converted into the small particles, and the carbohydrate, proteins and fat, see, the vitamins and minerals do not need to be get digested, they absorb as it is, but the carbohydrate, protein and fat are the macromolecules and they cannot absorb in our body as it is or directly, right? So we have to convert them into the smaller particles. We have to convert them into the smaller particles. See, the when we break down the carbohydrate, then the simplest form of carbohydrate will be the glucose, right? And when we break down the proteins, then we will, the smallest smallest substance of the protein is amino acid, right? And if we break down the fat into the smaller particles, then we will get fatty acids, and glycerols, right? What we will get? We will get fatty acid and glycerols. Okay. So these are the simplest form. These are the simplest form of these macromolecules. Simplest form of this molecule. So what is digestion? Digestion basically is, so the conversion of biomacromolecule, or we can say that the complex molecule or complex substance, the conversion of complex substance into the simplest form, so that they can absorb in our body and help in providing us energy, and various metabolic process can be occur inside our body, right? And the water is also important in our diet, or we can say water is very essential in our requirement, right? One of the main component, that is water, because water help in the occurring of metabolic process, as well as it also prevent our body from getting dehydrated, right? Okay, I hope you get it. So okay, let me rough all these things and let's see what is the definition of digestion. The conversion of complex substance. What are these complex substances? These are carbohydrate, protein. These are carbohydrate, protein, fats, right? These are the complex substance. And the conversion of complex substance into the simple substance, so that they can absorb in the body. In the body, right? It can absorb in the body and help in perform various functions and help in performing various functions. Got it, students? Okay. So what is digestion? The conversion of complex substance into the simpler substance so that they can absorb in the body and help in performing the various functions inside the body. I hope you have all understood. What is digestion? Digestion is a process in which the complex substance get converted into the simplest substance and they help in performing the various functions in our daily life, right? Okay. So now let's move to the next part. So now we will discuss about the digestive system. We are going to discuss about the digestive system because we have to learn digestion now. So we have to first of all discuss about the okay. See, the digestive system of human consists of what it consists of? It consists of alimentary canal. It consists of alimentary canal and digestive glands. Okay, students. So first of all, we will discuss about the alimentary canal and then we will discuss about the digestive glands. Okay. So now let's discuss about the alimentary canal. Okay, so alimentary canal is a long tubular-like structure. It is a long tubular-like structure and it is about 9 meters long. In humans, the alimentary canal is about 9 meters long. Okay, got it, students? Okay, so it is a long tubular-like structure which is around 9 meters long. It is very lengthy, right? 9 meters long is very long, right? In length. Okay. So, alimentary canal starts with mouth. It starts with mouth. So, we can say that it is the anterior-most part. Anterior-most part of alimentary canal. Right? And it ends at anus. It ends at anus and anus is the posteriorly present. Or we can say posterior. It is posteriorly present. Right? So anterior and posterior. See, this is my front face and this is my back. So mouth is present in the anterior most and in the in front of you, right? And the anus is present in the posterior side, in the back side, and it is present in lower side. So the mouth and the anus. The mouth is the anterior most part, and the anus is the posterior most part of the alimentary canal. I will discuss about the other organ present in the alimentary canal. I hope you have taken note of all these things. Okay, so I am going to rough all these things. Okay, so see students, I have told you that alimentary canal, it is a 9 meter long tube tube-like structure, and it starts with mouth. It starts with mouth, right? And in the mouth there are two lips present which are movable, and it helps in ingestion. Like, what is ingestion? What is ingestion? I hope you have studied it in your previous class. Okay. So what is ingestion? Ingestion is the process in which we put the food particle inside our buccal cavity. Inside our buccal cavity. Got it, students? Okay. So mouth, alimentary canal initiate with mouth, then it leads to the buccal cavity. Buccal cavity. Or it is also called oral cavity. It is also called oral cavity. Okay, students? And the buccal or oral cavity leads to the pharynx. It leads to the pharynx, and pharynx lead to the oesophagus. Right? Oesophagus is also known as food pipe. Food pipe. Okay? So, I will discuss you all this. First of all, let me write all these things. And the oesophagus is a long tubular-like structure. It starts here, from here, and it extends to, right, it is around 25 centimeters, and it opens into the J-shaped bag-like structure that is called stomach. That is called stomach, right? And it is the stomach is open into the duodenum, right? And the duodenum is open into the jejunum, and jejunum is open into the ileum. Okay, I hope you have not heard about these names, right? Don't worry, these are all part of small intestine. These are all part of small intestine, right? And small intestine is the largest part of the alimentary canal. It is around 6.5 meter long. It is around 6.5 meter long. It is a narrow tubular-like structure, right? And it is around 6.5 meter long. Not exactly, but approx. Okay? And then ileum open into the cecum, and the cecum leads to the colon. Okay, so after the small intestine open into the large intestine, we are just writing the name of the part of large intestine. Okay, so the colon have four different parts, that is descending. Okay, let me write all these things, right? First of all, descending colon. The descending colon, sorry. It is ascending colon. The ascending colon open into the transverse colon, right? And the transverse colon lead to the descending colon. And the descending colon leads to the sigmoid colon. Okay? And the sigmoid colon open into the rectum, and the rectum open into the anus, and this is the end of our alimentary canal. So, these complete, and make different arrow. So cecum, this is the complete colon, right? This is the complete colon. That is ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, sigmoid colon, and the sigmoid colon open into the rectum and then anus. So up to from the cecum to the rectum, it is large intestine. It is large intestine. Okay, students. So this is our alimentary canal. It starts with mouth, open into the buccal cavity or oral cavity, then it lead to the pharynx, then esophagus, that is also known as food pipe, and then stomach, and then duodenum, jejunum, and ileum. Basically, small intestine. These all are part of small intestine, right? And the ileum open into the cecum, ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, and sigmoid colon, and rectum. And these are the part of large intestine, and from the rectum, the food particle get out or get ingested from the anus. Okay, I hope you all understood. Okay, so one by one we will discuss about them, all these organs present in our digestive system. Okay, so let's start with mouth. Let's start with mouth. Okay, I will give you a proper diagram of the digestive system of human, but before that I will discuss all these things. Then after that I will give you a diagram. Okay, so mouth, I have told you that it is the anterior-most part of the alimentary canal, and it has two lips, right? It has lips which are movable, right? And it helps in ingestion. It helps in ingestion, like putting of food particle. What is ingestion? The putting of food particle in the mouth, or the process of ingesting the food, right? Okay. So now after the mouth, the mouth open into the buccal cavity. The mouth open into the buccal cavity. It is also known as oral cavity or oral cavity. Okay, students. Okay. So basically, in the buccal cavity, there are you can see the space inside my mouth. This is buccal cavity, right, or oral cavity, right? And in the buccal cavity, the teeth, the tongue are present, and some glands are also present inside the buccal cavity that are known as salivary glands. Okay, we will discuss about the glands in the digestive glands part. Today, in this topic, I will discuss only about the teeth. And now let us discuss about the teeth. Adult human, how many teeth are present? Is there anyone who can tell me? Okay, let me tell you that there are 32 teeth. Teeth are present in adult human. Okay, so see, there are 32 teeth are present in adult human. If we talk about the child, then there are 20 teeth are present only. Okay? I hope you have understood. Very good. So, why the teeth are present in our buccal cavity? Can you tell me? No. Don't worry. I will tell you. So, teeth help in the mastication of food. Teeth help in mastication of food. Or we can say that teeth help in the breaking down of bigger particle into the smaller particle, right? Or crushing of food particle, right? So teeth help in mastication of food. See students, there are 32 teeth in adult human and there are 20 teeth in a child, right? And each teeth or each tooth is embedded into the socket of jaw bone. This is about jaw, right? And every teeth is embedded in the socket of jawbone. Okay, got it, friends? So I can write here that each tooth is embedded in socket of jawbone. Jawbone means the tooth are, every tooth is embedded in the socket of jawbone. Okay, students? Very good. And this type of arrangement or this type of dentition is called, what is it called? Thecodont. Thecodont. When the teeth are embedded in the socket of jawbone, then this is known as thecodont. What is it known as? Thecodont. Okay, students? Very good. So, okay, let me drop all these things. We are discussing about the teeth. So, we have understood what is thecodont. When the teeth are embedded in the socket of jawbone, then it is called thecodont, right? And in humans, if we talk about humans, there are two sets of teeth present in their lifetime. There are two sets of teeth present in their lifetime. One set of teeth are present at their childhood, and they get shed off at the age of 5 or 6, and then new teeth set of teeth arises, and these are known as permanent teeth. The group of tooth or the set of teeth which are present at the childhood are known as temporary teeth or milk teeth. What they are known as? Temporary teeth or milk teeth. And okay, so let's see that the teeth which are present at childhood, right? These are known as temporary teeth. Or milk teeth, right? And when they get shed off, then new set of teeth arises, and these set of teeth are known as permanent teeth. These are known as permanent teeth. Okay, students? Okay. I hope you have understood that. Okay. So, when there are two sets of teeth are present in the lifetime, then this type of dentition is called diphyodont. What this type of dentition is called? Diphyodont. Okay. So, what is diphyodont? When the two sets of teeth are present in the lifetime, then they are called diphyodont. And in humans, there are two sets of teeth are present. One are milk teeth and another are permanent teeth. So they are diphyodont. Okay, students? I hope you have understood. Good. So now let's move forward. Okay. So I have told you that in adult human there are 32 teeth are present. There are how many teeth? 32 teeth are present, right? And there are four type of teeth. What they are? They are incisor, that is denoted by capital I, canines, that is denoted by capital C, premolar, that is denoted by P, capital M, and the molar, that is denoted by capital M. See, students, there are four types of teeth which are present in these 32 teeth, right? So it is not that they are arranged randomly. they are arranged in a very specific manner. How they are arranged? First of all, the incisors are present, then canines, then premolars, and then molars. The arrangement is that first of all, incisor, canines, premolar, and then molar. Okay. So, if we talk about the upper jaw, if we talk about we have two jaws. One is upper jaw and another is lower jaw. See, you can feel that. You can touch your jaws here, right? And these are the jaw. If we talk about, let's talk about the upper jaw, right? If we talk about the upper jaw, and if we took half set of teeth in the upper jaw, if we took half set of teeth in the upper jaw, you know what will be the, so I have told you in what manner the teeth are present: incisor, canines, premolar and molar, right? So if we talk about the upper jaw, and in the upper jaw only half set of teeth, then it is 2, 1, 2, 3. What does it mean? Means the two incisors are present in my upper jaw. In the half set of teeth, there are 2 incisors, 1 canine, 2 premolar, and 3 molars are there, right? And now we have to put this divided sign. This does not mean it will be divided. It is just for like we can learn with this formula, right? What happened? Then what we'll do? We took lower jaw and we took half set of the lower jaw. We will do half set of the lower jaw, and we have to repeat the same number: 2, 1, 2, 3. See, we have equal number of teeth in the upper jaw and the lower jaw, right? If there are 32 teeth, then 16 will be in upper jaw and 16 will be in lower jaw, right? So, if we I have told you, if we talk about the adult human, there are 32 teeth, and in the 32 teeth, 16 are in upper jaw and the 16 are in lower jaw, right? If we took in the complete upper jaw, there are 16 teeth, right? If we talk about the half set of teeth in the upper jaw, then we have to divide by 2, and then we will get 8 number of teeth in the half set of teeth in the upper jaw. Then let us calculate. It is 2, 1 plus 2, 1 plus 2 plus 1, 3, 3 plus 2, 5, 5 plus 3, 8. So in the upper jaw, it is 8. In the lower jaw, it is 2, 1, 2, 3. It is also 8. So this is called dental formula. What is it called, students? Dental formula. And it is not like if there are 8 teeth are present in a half set of upper jaw, then in the other half there also 8 teeth are present. How many teeth are present? 8 teeth in the both, right? So total number of teeth are in the upper jaw, there are 8 half plus half, 8 plus 8, 16. In the lower jaw, 8 plus 8, 16. So total 32 teeth are present. I hope you have understood. Okay. For today it is enough. We will talk in next class. I hope you enjoyed the class. Bye bye students, and have a nice day.